We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee obviously locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the markets. The markets feel the uncertainty at the moment. Bitcoin sitting at 58,555 US dollars as we speak, recovered from under 49,000, and obviously there is a lot to say about this recovery, but also we have to look into this week, what is going on. There are a lot of important events coming up that you should know about, and we're going to look a little bit more at the current state of the crypto market, what we can expect for the next couple of weeks, and we're going to look obviously at Ethereum, at some altcoins, or at the broader altcoin market. We're going to look at Bitforex, we're going to look at Veve and Ecomi, so make sure to stay all the way through it. Okay, good morning all of you. We are back. Make sure to initiate the stream with smashing the like button, and if you are new here, consider subscribing along the stream if you like what you see. I want to thank all of my rare hodlers for staying patient, being patient here with me, because 1 week without Crypto Morning Coffee is not only unpleasant, so to say, for you, but also for me. So what happened? Where was I? What was going on? I mean, everyone who is of the rare hodlers and everyone else here, I mean, you knew it. I told it to you in the last stream, but everyone who is in the group also got some updates there. I was in the US for business, and I was in Atlanta. So and the flight obviously is rough. So after that, I was completely knocked out of the flight going, and also when I came back, I think I slept 12 hours after that because I couldn't sleep on the flight. So that was crazy. I also attended my first ever baseball match, which is good. And now my sleep cycle, because of the 6 hours difference, is completely out of whack. So I slept 12 hours, then I had trouble sleeping. So it is what it is, guys. And yeah, so let me know what you have been doing throughout this week, or the last week. But this week, for sure, is going to be full of Crypto Morning Coffee and market update videos. So definitely something good here for us. And yeah, once again, a special thanks to my rare hodlers here that you can see all around me, that are supporting this channel, that are keeping this channel basically ad-free for all of you guys, holding it up here for all of you guys. Thanks for staying true to this channel also during a time with no videos and no live streams. But now let's jump right into the situation. And oh yeah, I see. Good morning, Green Lantern. Good to see you here. So smash up the like button and let's get started. So first of all, current situation. So this is still from the last video. I have to remove, there's too many lines, but here we go. So we see this, how the weekly closed. And actually when I made this video yesterday, the weekly was still at 60,000 or something like that. And it closed way weaker than I expected it to close, to be honest. But it was also kind of obvious that we were getting rejected here at this point. So the point of rejection, as explained in the video, is this overhead resistance and this overhead resistance. So not super surprised that we got rejected here after such a deep fall. And on the other side, we see a lot of strength on the buying side. But now we're sitting here. We will see how the next week evolves. And it depends really on macroeconomic data, which we are going to look at a certain time. And of course, from a TA's perspective, we also have this downward sloping kind of broadening channel that we are looking at, where we have enough touch points to confirm it. So we see it here, then we have one here, then we have one here, another one here, and another one here. So that is definitely enough to confirm it. And obviously one direction could be to go back and close the weekly at 53,000, right? And just have another touch point on this channel. This could definitely be, and the longer, if it takes 2 weeks or so, it would almost coincide with this support here, down here. So all of that from a technical perspective is good and well, but if we are looking at the monthly here, we see that on the monthly, we have lost our structure, which is the orange line for now, right? But we didn't close the monthly yet. So by the way, can you guys hear me well? Just let me know. And we are supposed to, or we should, to keep this structure in play, to keep this bull flag in play, we have to close within this, right? I said this yesterday in the video. So now what we are going to look at is what will happen in this week. And that is very interesting. So today we don't get anything, but probably we get all the volatility of uncertainty around all of these factors here. So we are going to start off Tuesday with Home Depot earnings. Why is that so important? Because it gives us a little bit more, us and the Fed, a little bit more clue about the state of the economy. Thank you, Dirklate, for letting me know. So that on Tuesday, as well as US PPI inflation, which is not as important as US CPI inflation that we're going to get on Wednesday. And this will actually, I think that the uncertainty, no matter how these turn out, will stay until we get a CPI inflation reading that is either as expected or unexpectedly high or low. We don't really know what's happening, because we really need this to turn out good to have the Fed have confidence in lowering interest rates. After the scare in the last week of Japan's interest rate hike, after 17 years, we are expecting the US to have a rate cut in mid of September, when the next is. Then we have also Cisco earning and Walmart earning. There are way more earnings than this, but these are the most important ones. And all of them together, they will give more clues about the state of economy, about whether they will announce an official recession. And if they do, they have to react also to it, right? We will have jobless claims, which also are important for Fed decisions. We have retail sales on Thursday, as well as manufacturing surveys, and then consumer sentiment on Friday. So all of that obviously gives us a week that is largely driven by macroeconomic events out of the US, and will lead to Fed Chair Powell decide in a certain way. Also, what we have is, you see it above my head, the US consumer spending is slowing down, which implies that people are really out of money and out of credit, basically, right? So they can't just spend anymore. Whereas when you have easing conditions and everyone earns more and salary goes up and so on, and cost does not go up as much, then you have more and more and more spending. So you see, obviously, spending dropped off of a cliff, if I show this to you. because at this time you had lockdown and shops closed and so on, right? So obviously spending dropped off a cliff here. But these types of spending going down like this, where shops are open, these really imply that people don't have money, right? So this is interesting. And it also means that something, as we always say on this channel, so there, we always said that usually something breaks in the economy, which then will lead to Powell and the Fed react, right? And this is kind of the look of something breaking, because it means if people don't spend anymore in general, that means that it's really rough, right? So we see here consumer revolving credit declined by 1.7 billion June, the largest drop in March 2021, month over month in contract by 0.13%. The second monthly decrease over the last 3 months. So to put this into perspective, in 6 years prior to the 2020 pandemic, the US posted just 5 months of revolving credit declines. Interesting, right? So looking at total debt balance, also we see that this is bad, right? It's like the total debt balance is rising, obviously, under high interest rates. Either there was no fixed loan or it's other types. So we see here on the gray, it's mixed. The red is student loans. So also we see that it's not driven by student loans, but we see that the student loans band is broadening since, let's say, since ever, basically. Student loans just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's obviously also an interest rate on it, and this is also why there's all these talks of forgiveness for student loans, right? And then we see credit card. Credit card is mostly, it doesn't seem to vary so much, but in the last years, in the last 3 years, which is only this part here, it has also broadened, right? And then auto loans, they also went way bigger on higher prices, obviously, and then also high interest on higher prices. And then, and then the biggest part here, the mortgage, is the orange band. And we really see that the mortgage is just going up like crazy, right, over the past 10 years or so. Actually from here past 10 years. So we saw that it was going up until Lehman crisis, right? And then it dropped off for like, what is that, 5 years or so. The mortgage dropped off, and actually the mortgage is defining the whole let's say the whole development of this band, right? The mortgage is really defining it, because if you see here, you have slight broadening and tightening in the other credit lines, but the mortgage is the determining factor. So also here we see it's getting out of control, and if it's getting out of control for people, it means they will try to get control over it again, spending less, and also means for the government to react, because otherwise you will have much higher delinquencies, right? So, for example, credit card and auto debt grew by 27 billion and 10 billion to a record of 114 trillion and 163 trillion respectively. So, US population is collectively 1.63 trillion in debt on auto loans, right? And that is, I mean, if you consider there are about 400 million people living there, that's quite a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so in the meantime, people, wealthy people, asset managers and so on, institutions and so on, through asset managers, have accumulated Bitcoin. And in Blackrock alone, there are 21 billion now worth of Bitcoin. Obviously, that is that is still little to nothing compared to if you see that Berkshire Hathaway, for example, is sitting on $277 billion worth of cash, right? Meaning that all institutions and investors that go through BlackRock collectively, and with BlackRock also, because BlackRock, if people sell ETFs, BlackRock doesn't sell the Bitcoin back into the market. So BlackRock is technically also invested themselves in Bitcoin. And so collectively, they only have 10% in Bitcoin, all of them that go through BlackRock, less than 10% as as Berkshire Hathaway has cash. Just to put it into perspective. So that is crazy. So technically, if Berkshire Hathaway would put all of the 277 billion into Bitcoin, they would more than 10x the holdings of BlackRock, which is crazy to think about, because you see, like, Berkshire Hathaway is not the only institution with a cash position, and hey, probably people want them even to put at least a part. Let's say they want to put them, they want to have them put 1% into Bitcoin of Berkshire. It would still be $2.77 billion that just go into Bitcoin, right? Now, let's talk about where we are in the market, because I think this is the most interesting topic to talk about. Nothing else really matters. And so we see here, so this is the price performance since the halving for Bitcoin. And many people are saying, "Oh, this time is different. It's taking too long. We are not going anywhere this time because institutions and blah 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 and the macro environment and yada yada." Okay, so first of all, if you divide the crypto cycle from halving to halving into epochs, we are from red to green, so to say. So red, orange, blue, and green, these are the cycles. We are just under, or where every cycle was, more or less. I mean, the very early cycles of Epoch 1 and 2, inception of Bitcoin, and then the first cycle of Bitcoin. With the exception of that, we are very much where we were also in the other cycles. Look at that. We are black. We're the black band here. So, and you see also both last cycles had another full, I would say, 2 months of sideways action, maybe sideways and up, before anything substantial happened from the halving. So we really see this here, right? So we see also this blip up that we just imitated, right? All this blip here. And then we went above it, or above the blue cycle, we went under it, right? So interesting. What are similarities? Now, if we were to go up again to 60,000, which also is more or less the cost of mining price, which would be logical to go up in the next weeks above 60,000, and then stay at 60,000 the whole August until the potential rate cut, we would completely coincide with these cycles. Obviously, there's volatility because maybe in this cycle there's a little bit more, let's say, excitement or so. But if you really wanna just draw an average on this, we would stay around 60 to 65,000 until September or even October. And we know that the inflation is one driver that comes out right now, gives some volatility. The rate cuts in the reaction to inflation and to the economic data is another one, that is September. And then the biggest factor is election, and this will be somewhere here, right? So the US election this year is a little bit late, it's in October. And it's going to be one of the decisive factors how we are going to start into this last parabolic move of the run, right? And then the black line will probably end up somewhere in this section up here, right? In terms of returns. So really interesting stuff here to come, in my opinion, and we will be here for all of it. I will have to find a way. Like I will have to go to the US again in a month or so, and I will have to find a way to give updates. I don't know if it will be by video or so, but I definitely have to take my equipment with me, and even if it's at night in the hotel after 3 beers or so with I don't know, colleagues and customers, I still will have to do something. So stay tuned for that. But definitely I will not have it to go a full week without. I mean, obviously, if you're on a plane, there's no chance to make it, right? So anyways, let's also look at Ethereum, because I think Ethereum is very important for driving the altcoin market. And what stands out is this is Ethereum on the exchanges, and with a drop in price, usually in a bear market, what you see when the price is dropping further, that people put more Ethereum or more of whatever crypto on the exchanges, which is not the case right now. In fact, the price dipped and people just took more off of the exchanges. So, and the moment these curves with the exchanges turn around, we know that we're close to a top when people are taking profits. But Ethereum is just dropping like a rock. The supply is dropping like a rock here from the exchanges. So there will be also probably more sideways because of grayscale outflows on Ethereum ETFs. I do not see too much statistics right now, but I bet that they have outflows still. Overall, this will lead to supply shock, this development. Let's take a look at the crypto market. So on the daily, we are absolutely red. So we have all the AI coins like Akash Network, we have Arweave, we have Random, Beam minus 12%, so all of them minus 10%. We have Mantra minus 11.2%, as well as Solana minus 8% and Optimism minus 10%. So all in all, the entire altcoin market is down today about 10%. Whereas on the week, and this is the interesting thing, we forget that on the week we have some real movers, or we had some real movers in the altcoin space. So look at that. Helium up 57%, Sui up 71%, BitTensor up 46%, Dog we've had 33%. So even the shit roulette is not over yet. There's still some meme coins moving. Brad also here moving a little bit, but overall, like the full top 100, with the exception of ASI Alliance and what is that, like Tether or something, Tether Gold, and MakerDAO, which is behind me, is minus 2.5%, but the rest is green, right? Here's Pepe, also meme coin, and this accounts for almost all altcoins, right? So on the week, altcoins have recovered pretty well. So buying the dip on the super crash has paid off for a lot of people. Look at that, Avail 69%, so average 10 to 20% return on that, still after today's minus 10%. Zeta Chain is up 75%. What is this? Threshold is up 42%, Blur 26%, Popcat 37%, crazy. GMX, this is a launchpad, I think, is also up 26%, Superverse 31%. So Aivo is up 15%. So we see a lot of coins are big in the green on the week, and this is nothing compared to what's going on in an altcoin season, but it's definitely nice if people buy the dip, right? So some things just switched into red, by the way. So also top 200, 300, we see here Nero 90%. So some big movers overall. And yeah, let's quickly assess the altcoins. If I can, I think I have to open another trading view. I think I closed it somehow. So let me quickly open trading view here for the others chart. Crypto King says we go lower. Potentially yes, as mentioned in the beginning of the stream. The uncertainty of this week is going to send us lower, and then we will see when CPI came out. If CPI is bad, we are going to drop way lower. And what we see for the altcoins, like this is all altcoins. This is all altcoins on the weekly, basically. And what we see, we have this falling channel. Still likelihood to break to the upside. We will see how it develops, right? We drew this in here. But what definitely happened is we closed the week inside of this channel. Very, very important move. We didn't close it green though. But if you look here at the at how it happened, how this wick happened. I mean, this got eaten up in a day. Like this is a daily chart. So we see here how basically within 36 hours or so, the altcoins bounced back. What is that? 25%. So 25% of that move was then, and we're still lower than we were before, right? So we see this. By the way, I think we can get rid of this. So we see how this, how this channel is still intact, and how from a TA perspective we are holding it so far. And usually these channels, as I said before, they break to the upside, like it did here, right? This channel, for example, it did break to the upside. If we were to get a positive CPI reading, market bounces back, then I guess we also go higher in terms of altcoins, right? But definitely it's a by the dip situation. I think this zone is great. Yeah, let's say this zone, right? Which is support here, right? Support zone. And as Crypto King said, there is a risk to go lower. It doesn't mean that we are guaranteed to go lower. It really depends on what I showed in the beginning on the macro factors that are coming out for the US. Luca is saying, yo, welcome back. PH, what is going on? Absolutely, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to discuss all of the stuff. So today we're going to take a little bit more time to talk about Ecomi and Veve and about Bitforex also, right? As announced in the beginning. So with regards of altcoins, we will do another Degen altcoin stream as we are very low with the altcoins. Unfortunately, we were not able to make a stream, an altcoin stream, when this was happening. Unfortunately, because that would have been like great, but 5th of 8, I was just in a plane and couldn't do it. But that would have been great to add to our Degen altcoin portfolio. Maybe I do it today in the evening, that altcoin stream. And as I said before, I want to also get into doing some, I don't know, completely Veve related, like drop stream or whatever, like Degen buy some stuff. We will see. Let's look how Ecomi is doing on this dip, and it is not good, guys. It is not good. It is not good. It is not looking good for Ecomi at the moment, because Ecomi still didn't find its bottom compared to many other coins in the market. And I really want to show you in the comparison, a coin or one or two coins that are doing like Chain Link, for example. Let's take this one. So Chainlink, look at that. So Chainlink, it basically, you remember when we talked about this potential breakout, and then it actually happened and it hit the target and yada yada, right? But if you extend this overhead resistance line for Chainlink, you can see that Chainlink basically it kind of flipped it, like retested, flipped it into support right here. We can still come down to where's my drawing tool here? We can still come down for Chainlink, but the overall thing is that that probably it will find support here and then go higher, right? With the next leg up of Bitcoin. And this is something that we don't see out of Ecomi, and it's a little bit worrying because many other altcoins, they have done this. They have ranged, they broke out of the range, retest, and then go, right? And not for every altcoin it looks that clear. For example, you have things like Veracity that just came back to where they were, but they didn't form new lows. And here, I mean, obviously this is technically a macro downtrend, right? If you want to argue it like this, put this a little bit here, right? From here to here, but that's always the case when you're in an evolving bull market, that you need some time until you can go higher. But what is the fact of the matter is if this was a low, for example, right, or this was a low, and we bounce on this is going to be a higher low, right? So this would initiate a new macro trend if it plays out like this. And so far, Chainlink played out beautifully. Now for Ecomi, that doesn't mean everything is lost and over, but it means that we need to find at some point a sign of strength where we are taking out previous structure. And we don't have that yet. What we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive red negative months with finding a new all-time low at 0003. And 0003 was a possibility. We talked about it on this channel. To be honest, I didn't think that after forming such a huge base here that it would fall off this. So this chart really takes some time to load because of all the stuff that we drew in here. Yeah, we are still waiting for that signal. And actually, the funny thing is that on the big altcoin drop that we just saw in many coins, also in like Chainlink here, Ecomi didn't really take a part. Ecomi didn't really take a part in this massive drop off, but it also didn't recover. So it just didn't move and react on it at all, which means that it wasn't highly traded. And we see this in the volume as well. The volume is just going away, right? So all in all, that's not ideal. And we are waiting for some more things to play out. So what we have in the narrative for Omi to NFT, right? Omi to NFT on Stacker is in the narrative, as well as the burns, right? So this is being tested. This is in beta testing right now. And the burns that are occurring on Stacker, they are already, even though it's beta testing, the burns are real. So whenever someone tests, they send Omi to burn wallet. At least that's what we got from as a message, right? So in my opinion, that's already good. That's already good, but it's not ideal. Because again, it is, and this is probably why we're finding these lows, because the expectation was an integration of Ecomi directly into the Veve app, with burns directly from purchases in the Veve app. And now this has been modified to a third party. So now the third party stacker needs to prove that they are capable of fulfilling this transaction burn as it was expected also if it was directly on Veve. So we will see how it plays out. We're obviously, once we're at the moment, Ecomi token holders are not Ecomi token holders, Ecomi logo, secret rare logo holders are invited to test the Omi to NFT. But once it's out, we will have to find a way to look at it here together on the channel, right? So me being lazy, I have to do some work on myself to bring that to you guys. This is plainly speaking. Now, that was Ecomi, or is Ecomi. After several months of uncertainty, the language here. After several months of uncertainty, I'm very pleased to see that Bitforex has begun to process Omi token withdrawals from the exchange. And so that means people have received stuff back. So on the screenshot, we see here 1.2 million and 4 million and someone 290K and 9.5. So this is, why is it? Oh, that's OKX deposits. Okay, sorry about that. So only these are transactions to the wallet, it seems. So, and an OpenSea user, 5 million. This is interesting. But anyways, we see that transactions are going out to people that initiated withdrawals. So I think it's safe to say that what we speculated, that it will take some time, we need to be patient, and you're getting your funds back, is coming to fruition, right? And we have been reporting about the Bitforex situation since day one, everything that was news, and now it's happening. Now it's coming back. If you're doing KYC, it takes a lot of time, and you're probably going to the end of the queue. but they are distributing the OMI. That also adds obviously to sell pressure, because people that wanted to sell but couldn't sell, they can sell now. Yeah. Harbringer says, good morning. Hi, nice to see you. By the way, we have 20 people here. If you could do me the favor to smash up the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, that would be great. So yeah, that's sad, because it means company X could also use coin X as third party for trading Veve Collectibles. They could, but Stacker is built by Dr. Profit and team. And he has a personal interest with big stacks of Ecomi to make this, make OMI go up, right? So he definitely has a personal interest in that, which means he'll probably not allow any other coins on that platform for now, right? But you're right, there is technically the possibility. Which also would have been a possibility on Veve. We saw that in the beginnings, there was talks about crypto cash in, crypto cash out, right, on Veve. And that's something that still is a possibility, which would then take away the benefits of the Ecomi token, except the staking. But that's not coming to reality at the moment. So I think for now, for this cycle, probably we're fine with Ecomi only being the sole currency on this platform, right? But yeah, I think some people would have the concern. But on the other hand, you could also say, yeah, but that's kind of the concern for every currency that's like Chili's in the Socios app. Technically, they could just implement another crypto to have them buy tokens, but they have their own interest that this is not the case. And I think this will prevent them from implementing other cryptocurrencies to buy Veve Collectibles on Stacker. Which, for Veve Collectibles, it would be very, very positive if that happens, right? For the price of Veve Collectibles, because then everyone who has bigger gains in crypto could just ape into Veve Collectibles and have the price of Veve Collectibles go up, right? So let's look at this also. So now, since we got rid of this airdrop thing, we have a user development. And it's funny because I posted this on Twitter saying that Veve users go up or went up in the last days, and that the event, that D23 event, had a positive impact on user development, and people got completely mad at me because of it. I mean, I posted this whole thing, like saying unique users here and the numbers, and people got mad at me for claiming that I would post a misleading screenshot. And then I asked, why is it misleading? I mean, the numbers are on the axis. Like, people go nuts about everything at the moment, right? It's like, it literally, first of all, that person, I hope you see this, because you could just look this up by yourself on a Mutascan, it's there. And then also, I mean, if you take the 24 and you go to 124, you see that at this point of posting it was this, right, 119 or whatever, about 80 users more. And then I don't know what's misleading about this, right? I mean, it's just a matter of fact that we have 100 new users by now, out of a couple of days. And then people are like, oh my god, yes, 100 new users, that's how many people were in the shop on the site where I was. Guys, we are in one of the worst and devastating bear markets, and in fact, the first bear market that the NFT space has ever seen. And while other projects are dying, Veve is running around on designer on Comic Cons and on Disney 23, getting 100 new unique users, and I will talk about the potential negative possibilities here as well. 100 unique users in just a couple of days. Okay, so that's positive. I'm not saying it's amazing or that the mass adoption is happening, but it's positive. if you consider that on, let's just say they are all real, like, or let's say 80 of them are real, right? It's still considering comics with 40 editions only, it's still, they can have them all, right? They can have them all. Let's say there's an insane comic collector or whatever, they can have them all, right? So that's the one side. The other side is we also had the metallic red drops in the same time. Now let's say you have flippers that sold everything and had 0 collectibles. They get a metallic red and they flip it. As long as they have the metallic red, they are one of the new users, because this is only counting 0 to 1 collectible. So 1 or more collectibles, right? But here's the thing. If it was a flipper, then the best time to sell this metallic red is already over. So, and we don't see like a drop and then drop off. We don't see that. We see drops happening and the numbers going up. So it will be now, we will see how it turns out in the next couple of days, but technically they, if it was flippers, they should sell off now and the number should go back, right? Because usually the price, because of flippers, is going down. Now, what we see is we have 100 wallets that go beyond 1 collectible, and we don't have a retracement just yet. And the metallic red is already over. So let's see the chat here, because you guys are already on fire. Dr. Loss fully wrecked. Ecomi. There is no chance to get him his money back, and it's gone. Dr. Lost down bad, says NFT Hero. We'll see how the bull run plays out. I mean, guys, it's investing, right? You never can be sure. It's investing. For some, it's gambling. I don't know. You can't be sure, but there is a good chance that also Ecomi does a 10 to, I don't know, 20x or so. There is a chance. Like bull markets are unpredictable, and the moment you go up a couple of 100% or so, just because some whale decides to buy, you'll have a sentiment shift. And it guys, it can be very quick. Mark my words, it can be very quick. Will he make his money back? I don't know, because I think his average is somewhere up there, 007 or so, which would be a 15x or so right now to get to. But it can happen, of course it can happen. SL says over 25 million flushed down toilet. Yeah, that's amazing, right? NFT Hero says, are they around because they scammed their user base though? Maybe. Who are you talking about? These guys? I don't know. Oh, you mean Veve in general? Agree on the drop users. SL says, Raffaello da Vinci, when you start, draw nice Bitcoin lines on chart. I already did. Look at nice Bitcoin line here. There you go. Sorry. Here's nice Bitcoin lines on chart. We did in the beginning of the stream, actually, a little bit. But Bitcoin chart needs to paint some nice lines for us first, and then we're going to do that. So on that note, a little bit more here for the Veve stuff. Active wallets last month, very interesting stuff. 11,521 wallets were active, a plus of almost 10%. Why? Because of probably interesting drops, right? We had some interesting drops in the last month. For example, Star Wars coming back with the Jawas and so on. So that new wallets though, even though the development right now is nice, but the development right now is already in this month. So this doesn't factor in. Like we have 100 wallets more. Look at that. This would be a positive number if it would factor in from 12th of July until now, right? It would be positive, but it's not. It's negative new wallet development, only 178 over the last month, right? So this is not good at all. But if this month can put this into perspective, would be nice. Now, market activity is up. Buyers up by 6%, sellers up by 8%. So we are not done yet with the selling. Sellers are higher than buyers. Buyer-seller ratio, okay, is not on 1. So 1 would be equal, and then over 1 would be positive buyers, right? Drops have increased. 4 more drops because of the events, yeah. And then minters have increased by 50%, which is good, right? Because wallets minting is up by 50%. That's really good. Tokens issued is up by 50% though, and tokens minted is also up by over 50%, which means that the dilution is higher, but also active wallets are higher. Overall, that means probably Veve's revenue was still pretty good in that time. But the new wallets, obviously, that's the only thing that needs a turnaround, right? Ooh, that's a nice one. Why no more content on chilies? Oh, right. Content on chilies. Good call. We need more content on chilies. I think they implemented their burn mechanism, which is really good. In comparison to Ecomi, they did implement burn and staking. So that is good. They also had some really nice event. I don't know, during the Olympic Games, I didn't see too much of them. Yeah, I don't know if they have anything around the Olympic Games as well, but they should for the next one at least. I'm bullish on Chile still. I think they will do great in the bull run because they just have so much to capture attention. On every match, they can go with their fan token burn, like on every match where they're sponsor. So I think it's a good one. Yeah, they are growing good. I think that's right. I will look into it again to see if I can make a nice video about them. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for the heads up here. Okay, so now this one is interesting. I think a couple of people missed it, so I'm going to reference it. So here's, by the way, I will follow this. Veve Burn wallet, right? So this monitoring the Veve Burn wallet, and someone that has obviously permission, so someone from the team, burned a amazing Spider-Man comic. Now that in itself, like, there's a lot of these comics, but it's interesting because it means that there is some burn testing going on. This was a very high edition. As you see, there are 60,000 of these. Now there's one less. Dentaldo C489 just subscribed. Welcome to the fam. It seems that they're testing the burning of comics, and we remember that David, you said there would be burn mechanisms for comics, either to get MCP, which wouldn't make much sense at the moment to burn anything for MCP, or if you burn a variety of comics, you could create a special comic, right? Which would increase scarcity of everything, right? That new comic would be scarce, and the other comics would increase scarcity. And obviously for those comics, you have an interest to burn them because, I mean, they are vintage. They're like these super old comics, which are worth a ton in the real life. And if you can have a mechanism to basically go deflationary at around, like, over a long time, it's going to spice up the game on the Veve app. SL says, and with Trump's okay on crypto in the USA, this will hit hard. They have office in Miami and contracts with all of the leagues. Yeah, good one. But for that, he has to win, and that's not a given. Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I don't want that. I'm saying that because unpredictable. Look at Polymarket. The Camila is leading on Polymarket, right? So Polymarket, biggest prediction market, pretty good, right? So then also this happened. I think we didn't talk about this, but Animoca Brands said, we are thrilled to announce our partnership with Lamborghini. Together we will drive digital vehicle culture forward to shape the future of brand engagement in the automotive industry. The Motoverse is in it. and Motoverse is building the largest open ecosystem for racing games, digital vehicles, and motorsport culture. It basically shows that not every brand has exclusive deal with Veve, right? And a lot of people get pissed for no reason, because I mean, Lamborghini had NFTs before Veve, then they had Veve, and now they're going with Animoca brands. It just makes sense. A lot of people, obviously, and I think that's good, make users aware that there is already Lambos on Veve, so why not, right? Go there, let them know. But overall, I think, who cares? There are some cool Lambo vehicles on Veve, and yes, they're there. Now we will see what they're building in with Animoca, right? If this is sustainable, if not. Like, they will also look at their revenue and say, okay, I did this much with Animoca, I did this with Veve, and then they will make a decision, right? Animoca is fucking amazing. It will be the alphabet of gaming Web3 frontrunner, 100%. I mean, maybe not the alphabet. I don't know, right? I mean, could be, but they're for sure like a big ass player in the industry. That's for sure. So yeah, they go with Lambo and Motoverse, and the Motoverse is interesting. I will follow them now. Because I want to see what they're doing. But overall, like, I think people are very close-minded about what's possible in the space and about the monopoly of things, right? So you will never have a brand commit to one single project as long as they cannot really do something with it. Like, for example, Marvel Comics is different. Marvel Comics has an interest on being exclusive on Veve, because Veve has somehow attracted a huge digital comic brand collecting audience. And now, obviously, with the Veve Comics side, they're just running the money printer. There's no reason to abandon Veve for Marvel Comics, right? But for Lambo, it's a different story, because Lambo has, like, they have had like 3, 4, 5 drops, and now they're looking how can they increase, because they know that Veve will not build out like a big game. But for car brands, you want to have more than only like someone have it in showroom next to an Iron Man and I don't know what, like some art toys or so, right? That's nice. That's really cool. But for visibility for a car manufacturer like that in crypto, you want to have your cars as NFTs in racing games. And that's not what Veve is here for. At least not yet. I don't know if they will be able to integrate with games, but at the moment that's not the case. So Veve's niche is collecting, which is also why they're very defined on what they bring. They bring collectible stuff. And people will find the value of that niche of collecting, but they're very far away from Ready Player One racing games where you can drive Lamborghinis and run other people over, right? So that's definitely not what they're in for. I think brands, institutions, real brands that are not in gaming, they behave very differently from other companies in the space. So for example, let's say you would say that, oh, an integration with GTA is amazing, right? But just when I said like running people over and whatever, you don't want to necessarily have your brand associated with violence content, right? So there might be brands that would say technically, hey, you're on a game like GTA, it's amazing to have so many players interact with your brand, but then again, you would say, okay, do we really want to be associated with this type of game content, right? So there are brands that are completely fine with that. Like, I mean, probably if you're Lockheed Martin and you can fly a F-22 or whatever in a shooter, they would be completely fine with that because it's just the business of their brand. But I don't know if a Lamborghini or BMW or whatever want to be associated with that, right? So just some thoughts here on brand awareness. Troy Paris, what's going on, my man? Hello, PH. Hope your trip went well. It went well, but it did not go well for us here together because I wasn't really able to make any videos or streams, and I already said this needs to change, right? This needs to change. Now, okay, so let's go on a little bit more and have a voice here for Uncle Jeremy. So Uncle Jeremy, he came out during that week when I was off and said, "Dear Omi friends, 5 things were needed to drive Omi. Utility on Veve, big exchange." I think there is some utility on some Veve collectibles, but what he probably means is that you actually can use the collectibles. Big exchanges, we didn't get them because the focus is on big and not whatever side exchange. Ease of use, which is hopefully coming with Stacker, but then again, it's not directly on Veve. Huge daily burns, we will see how big they actually are. And then timing, he is saying it's a sprint, not a marathon, and the Veve fam, or like the people that are bullish on Veve and so on, they say it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think this point is really arguable because there are arguments for both things, right? Okay, so we will see how this plays out. So this is a long wall of text, but what some people derive from that is that Uncle Jeremy, that he sold his Omi, and that's not the case. He said it here too because Daniel Lee made a good video, a nice video. If you see this, Dan, I think it was a very good video. And he drew some conclusions because, Jeremy wrote his post like if he sold his Omi. Now he clarified, "Hi Dan, regarding your YouTube post, I have not sold any Omi," so he didn't, right? "My post is critical but not negative. I'm hoping for success for a community who has embraced Omi for many years," that we all hope, I guess, right? We are also in it. "My feedback has been consistent for years regarding roadmap of utility." And I think that is... I think also that we agree on this here, all with Jeremy, that the roadmap for Omi has drastically changed, right? And the price is it's priced in right now, and the price is justified for what the roadmap has become. So now we need some new perspectives, and we need all of that, right? Where I would say my list of what we need is a little bit like these burns and big exchanges. They're on my list. Like here, this is my list for what needs to happen, right? Only that I have, besides the burns, like Omi to NFT, that's the same as ease of use of Omi, right? For him, so we're 3 out of 4 equal. The only thing that I see is, I think Veve is fine as what Veve is as a product. I think Veve is awesome as a product, as a market, whatever. The only thing that I want to see, and that is what Jeremy didn't really outline, is the Web3 part, right? So the whole crypto community, that's Veve neglected that this is their audience, but the crypto community is their audience. They have grown with the crypto community, like these Web3 degenerates, and then when they stopped catering to them, people went away. And it was all for like, oh, we're actually not catering to Web3, we're catering to collectors. And then, but everyone, like many people that are on Veve, they're this, right? And they're like, what the fuck is happening? And the real collectors, they don't care, because most people are, as we see, after 15 years, most people are not ready for Bitcoin yet. They will be ready now as shit's going to hit the fan. But people need more time to be ready for blockchain. And most people will use blockchain in the back end, right? But in the early stages, when you're coming with such innovative stuff, you need to cater to the nerds. You can still have a roadmap that in 4 years or in 8 years, you will cater to the absolute mainstream, and then you will have your mass adoption. But right now, you need mass adoption in Web3 in the next bull run. Attract 100 or 200,000 or 500,000 new people to Veve by doing this here. My opinion. If I would be an advisor, which I'm not, for Veve, I would advise this, right? Give people what they want in some form of shape or form. Like, for example, self-custody in some shape or form. Integrate with whatever, like, third-party exchange that is not Stacker also, where you can auction off your stuff on Raribles or something like that. Just form a partnership. Just liberate a couple of collectibles to give Web3 what they want, right? Web3 is all about self-custody, getting some centralization out of the system. Maybe have Omi be a vehicle to decide on certain things, something like a DAO token or whatever, right? You don't have to give everything out of hand, obviously, because you're still a private company. There will always be a high level of centralization for Veve, but like, make it seem more Web3. Make it seem more Web3. That's all. Like, make the ownership more clear. Explain how immutable X database and the, like, make an educational video, official video on, look, this is L1, this is L2, our data is stored here, but the roadmap of ownership is here on L1. So it's, in fact, like, the ownership is minted on L1. This is why we are, like, true NFT blockchain project or whatever, right? Just have it explained to people that way. I think that is what is needed, and then you can carry on with all the like, I mean, listen, Web3 people, they care about this, but collectors don't care if you also cater to Web3 people, right? So you cannot harm the collector base by giving Web3 people some stuff as well, right, on the side, because no one cares in what is rolling in the back end. At least that is my perspective on all of that. But enough with the rambling, enough with everything here. So we are back, we're finally back with the Crypto Morning Coffee. Sorry for the downtime, I will do better next time. Make sure to smash up the like button here, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and guys, wherever you are on the world, have this great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you